Well, the spring storm season, it's here. We're already seeing tornadoes.
Yeah, so what's in store for the state this year? Will we see more tornadoes in the last few years? Chief Meteorologist David Payne is analyzing the data.
All right, Oklahoma, hey, you know what? It's that time of year. I'm talking about my spring forecast. We've already had spring severe weather this week. We're talking about back on Monday, right? We had the big tornadoes down in southern Oklahoma, in and around Lake Texoma. Had quite a bit of damage down there. Had one fatality on the Texas side of the lake. So spring, yeah, kind of already starting out with a bang. We've been analyzing the data, putting it all together, and the bottom line is this time of year, we can have all kinds of crazy weather. So let's take a look at what we think is going to be happening coming up for the next couple of months. Now, let's go back to last year. We had 0 EF3s, EF4s, or EF5s. Last spring was a slow spring here in Oklahoma for severe weather. We actually had more tornadoes in the fall than we did in the spring. We're talking about last October was a big month for us. We averaged about 56 tornadoes during an entire year. Last year, we had 63 tornadoes. So again, there's your big month. On average, 24 tornadoes in May, about 12 in April, and June starts to taper off, about 7 tornadoes in June. But 82% of our average yearly tornadoes occur during these 4 months, and we are right there at the beginning of it. We're talking about La Nina. Ocean temperatures, they are much cooler down here, right? Down near the equator. That's a La Nina underway. We had this going on last year. We have it again this year. Another ingredient to our spring forecast is that the Gulf of Mexico is very warm. It's like bath water down here. Temperatures are above average. That's that moisture that we're going to be needing as we get into our spring to give us, well, rain, to give us storms. And with that, we're talking about severe weather. But during a typical La Nina pattern, we still have the northern branch of the jet coming in that will become weaker. The southern branch of the jet stream will become stronger, and that will give the bullseye of severe weather to our east. But we're still going to have severe weather here in Oklahoma. We've already had some, and we're going to have more. So my spring forecast, as far as temperatures go, above average for Oklahoma, all the places to our east, down to our south, good chunk of the country above average, but much above average for central, southern, and western Oklahoma. I think it's going to be, really, for the rest of spring, I think it's going to be warm and above average, okay? Now, as far as precipitation, a big area of wet weather off to our east and a big area of dry weather off to our west. But that dry weather, I think, will continue across western Oklahoma. As of late, we've had some rain out here, but the drought is strong, and I think we will gradually chip away at it slowly, but we're still going to be dry in the west going into spring. Average rainfall for the rest of us, for northern, central, and southern Oklahoma, wet weather, above average precipitation, rainfall off into eastern Oklahoma. So my spring forecast as far as tornadoes, hail, and flooding, I think eastern Oklahoma, southeastern Oklahoma has a pretty big year, especially points to our east into Arkansas and Missouri. I think it will be a less active year for severe weather for far western Oklahoma into the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, with average numbers of tornadoes, including hail and wind, for northern, central, and southern Oklahoma. All right, that's the way it's going right now. So my spring forecast, to sum it up for you, above normal temperatures with average to below precipitation, okay? Drier in western Oklahoma, wetter in the east. Tornadoes, I think, will be below to nearly average for spring. A little more active again across southeastern and off into eastern Oklahoma. We've already seen some of that this week, but I think the drought's going to hang on, especially in the west. So I think the bottom line is we will see a couple of big days in there. We will have days producing, again, tornadoes, and we'll be tracking all of it. So an active spring, more active this spring than what we had going on last spring, that is for sure. The News 9 weather team, we are ready. Storm trackers are ready, along with Jim Gardner, ready for whatever comes our way.
More active this year compared to last year, but
yes,
still average, I guess, for this year.
Yeah, last year, March, April, and May, we had about 25 tornadoes total. We average about 40, and I think we're going to be pretty close to that mark this year. What I'm a little bit concerned about, it's a La Nina year. Last year was La Nina too, but it was a weak, different La Nina. This is a stronger La Nina.
Okay.
So I'm worried for a couple of big high-end days or outbreak days.
Can you tell now if we're going to have those EF3, EF4,
No.
EF5? Okay.
No, you really can't. What you got to go by is what's happening early, and it's been, some of the big days have been big, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But, you know, the more rain we get, the more severe weather we're going to get. That's the way it works out. Tornadoes, you know, they don't like drought, right? And
So interesting.
Yeah, but I think it will be a bigger spring than last year. I think we'll have more tornadoes. I think quite a few more than what we had last year, and probably I think we'll have stronger tornadoes, okay, than what we had last year. That's the way it looks right now. Remember, if we end up with 10 tornadoes this year, we're going to have more than that, and we have one EF4 or EF5, that's a bad year. It only takes one. It only takes one day. So you have to have that plan in place. You have to be ready to go. We are in spring, and again, it is here.